Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I wanted to share with you my thoughts on the Harvestella demo that hit the Switch the other day. I am anxiously waiting for this game because while I don't really make any content on it, I'm actually a huge life sim fan. I played Animal Crossing when it came out way more than I should have probably, and this is going to be combining those life sim aspects with a lot of classic RPG elements, job systems, party members, dungeons, bosses, a full-blown story, things that I think are really going to excite me. Everyone's told me I should probably play Rune Factory, and well, with 3's remaster coming out, maybe I will. But in this video, I want to talk about the demo that I spent roughly 4 hours playing the day that it released. Now, as a reminder, again, this demo is only available on the Nintendo Switch currently, while the game will also be releasing on Steam when it hits in November. I'm hoping for a demo on Steam later, but currently there's no indication that that's going to happen. One of the main reasons I'm hoping for this is because progress actually carries over from the demo to the full game. So if you plan on picking the game up for Switch and you want to play it a day or two early, maybe play the demo right before it comes out and then it'll release the next day and you can just kind of prevent having to wait an extra day for it. Or play it now like I did and just get used to it for the time being. Maybe even play it again later once you understand the game and can really make the best use of your time. What I mean by that is that the demo actually ends under one of two conditions. It's when you either complete Chapter 2 or 15 game days pass. Now, Chapter 2 ends after a long dungeon's final boss, so if you're looking to get into the demo, when you think you're about to finish that dungeon, if you want to stretch out the 15 days, that is the time to do it, and that's what I ended up doing. Now for the demo itself, the game starts with a heavy focus on story. I'm not going to say too much, but your character wakes up in a world dealing with a phenomenon called quietus, a 5th season of death that the inhabitants know little about. It's not long before you're wrapped up in everything, and let me tell you, the story hits the ground running really quickly. I was kind of taken aback by it because I expected to hop in and start doing my farming and everything right away, and that is not how it is. It definitely felt RPG first before it felt like a life sim. But then it does take some time to explain the basics. It has day and season cycles, planting crops, tending to your farm, materials, crafting, the various shops in town. It just explains all these things to you in very succinct tutorials. Now, while the tutorials themselves are very short and concise, the character dialogue leading up to those tutorials usually starts kind of pointing you in the direction the tutorial is going to take you, and it's sometimes hilariously on point, whether it's dialogue coming from the characters or your own character's monologue. There's nothing quite like "I am awake" popping up on the screen when you wake up in a cutscene. I wasn't ready for that. The game also quickly introduces you to combat. You have skill trees, jobs, party members. Now, the combat is definitely not your next Devil May Cry. You basically swing and use skills while eating foods to replenish health. You learn new skills and traits as you fight more monsters, and you can also swap jobs in the middle of combat, though this does incur a short cooldown. It's simple, but it's robust enough to give you a decent dungeoneering experience that shows up about as equally as the life sim aspects in the demo. I was actually surprised how much time I spent fighting versus how much time I spent actually tending to my farm. That being said, the end of the demo explains that the chapters after the demo have a lot more activities for you to perform, and you can kind of pick that up if you explore around the map in places that the game doesn't point you to. You can find some plots of land that are completely unused, there's giant rocks you couldn't destroy, you maybe pick up items that you can't quite plant yet. You can also fish, you can cook, you can do all sorts of different things, and I'm sure there's going to be more on top of that, farming of course being one of them as well. But it's nice to see that the game isn't shying away from its RPG aspects. It's trying to have you interact with all of them, and I hope that doesn't lead to any of them being too bland. You know what they say, trying to do everything sometimes doesn't accomplish anything. Nobody says that, but now somebody did. Now, it wasn't a flawless demo either. I've already mentioned that the combat's not any sort of crazy involved thing, and I've also mentioned that sometimes the dialogue's a little too on point. There's also not a whole lot of voice acting in the game at all, so if that's kind of a negative for you, that's gonna be pretty impactful. For me, however, in the demo, the big thing was how strict the passage of time was. For the first several days, you're deliberately given a lot less time as they walk you through the tutorials, and if you aren't in bed by midnight, you'll pass out from exhaustion. I refused to let that happen. I went as close as level 1150, but either way, it just makes you feel like you don't have a lot of time to do anything. Now, once you start waking up earlier, it helps a lot, but it still does feel like the time passes a bit too quickly. It's roughly 14 real-life minutes per day, though going into the pause menus and going through your inventory does actually pause that time. The big thing is that traveling around the world map causes time to pass incredibly fast. Maybe I just felt the pressure because the demo only had that 15-day limit, but thinking back, I did get a lot done in the days that I spent in game. I even unlocked fishing and used that to supplement my farm's income to build a kitchen so I could cook. That's a sentence that is not something I say about many RPGs. The game's performance on the Switch was also, well, it's the Switch. I mean, you kind of knew what to expect, right? I plan on playing it on PC when it releases anyway, so it's not much of a concern for me, but I figured it was worth mentioning, although most of us Switch owners, we kind of just know at this point, right? There's always going to be some frame dips and performance issues, even just a little bit, but I'll play on PC, so it'll be fine for me. Overall, I enjoyed the demo a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the game has to offer, but I also wish that I didn't play the demo several months in advance because now I've got a couple of months to wait before I can actually play it. I gotta admit, the Square Enix demos that have been coming out lately have all been pretty good. I'm hearing, before playing it, that the Valkyrie Elysium demo is actually awesome, which kind of surprises me because I thought that game was going to be kind of middling. And the Diofield demo sold me on that game almost instantly. Now I just gotta hope for an Octopath 2 demo and any other thing they want to put out before they release it in this weird landscape of Square Enix dominating the lower budget titles or double A titles coming out in the next 6 months. But whatever, we got a lot to look forward to. At least I'm grateful for that. And this is definitely on the list of things to look forward to. Anyway, if you've played it, let me know what you thought in the comment section of the video below. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned as more stuff is released about Harvestella. I'll be sure to post more. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.